right, so now y'all, when I started this whole process, right, to kind of document this whole journey that I'm going on, my whole thought process was be like, I was successful before. All right, so I missed those years because of the whole metadata thing. I already solved that, right, with that interactive workbook. My thing now was, let me go ahead and put my music on as many platforms where that music could live simultaneously, thus maximizing my exposure for people to hear that music, as well as people that might want to purchase it to use for non-sync licensing, material. That was my thought process. So, okay, so we went to Pond 5, we did that. And then we're going to go to some additional locations on that lower tier level, like Audio Jungle, maybe say a Motion Array, right? We'll be able to do that. But we also moved up a tier and we submitted music to locations like the Label Music Group, as well as Artlist. This is where we had to create a short playlist and then submit it to them. Now, we haven't gotten any information back on that review process, if we've been accepted or rejected, but that's the next level. So I'm thinking today, like, why stop there? Why stop there? So, plan of attack for today. Now, my whole premise with this thing is like, accomplish something today that wasn't accomplished yesterday. Basically, we're going to keep it moving and keep it moving forward. So, if you're submitting music without a pro number that's attached to your name, you're actually leaving your credibility on the table. So, today, we're going to be registering with BMI. That's going to give us an IPI number. And then, we're going to move over to a location named Disco and create a playlist from our catalog. So, Disco is the platform where the supervisors actually search. So now, instead of having them come to locations like Pond 5 or some of the other locations to look for our music, what if we could be up in their house? What if we could be where they actually live, where they actually work? And I think I got a way to do that. So now, we got the music, we got the metadata covered. That's all dialed in. All right, so look, people, let me share a little secret with you about that little submission tool or the workbook. I still really don't even know what I want to call it yet. Just want to share this with you, right? If you look at the top right hand corner where my mouse is circling, that says V74. What that means is that it took me 74 times to build it. Well, okay, so at 40, we did have to stop and go get a copyright. But it took me an additional 34 times after 40 to be able to properly get everything I need for any submission anywhere by using this workbook without me saying, God, or why the, or what the heck? None of that. It's cuss proof. Nothing is wrong. I don't have an issue. And now people that know, I'm a detail-oriented type person, right? I don't say any of that. So it's cuss proof. And when I show you what it looks like over at another site today, it might not be so cuss proof because you probably gonna say, God damn. Yeah. All right, now, so back to it. Now, we got the music. Then we also have all of that metadata covered, right? We got a system that builds that master song folder for us, so the metadata is covered. Now, what about having a system that's going to deliver all of that the proper way? So check it out now. BMI is going to give us our IPI number. That's our international ID that's specific to us and us only in our music. But Disco is going to provide us with the stage to present it. Walk with me now. All right, now, so I'm over here at bmi.com/join, and I am going to join as a songwriter because it is absolutely free. It says here, join as a songwriter. Join the top songwriters and composers who have chosen BMI to ensure they get paid when their music gets played, right? Don't forget that bag. All you're going to need is a valid email address. It also says all applicants under 18 years of age must provide a custodial trust bank account that has been established, at a U.S. bank. let's go ahead and get into this. There is a wealth of information that needs to be filled out here. We're going to go ahead and get with that and be right back with you. Okay, so that was pretty painless, right? Went over there to BMI, got registered with a performance right organization, got my own IPI. That's something I didn't have before. Now, any of my music, just let alone it being on a platform, and hey, if you want it, you could use it for your digital project. Now it could be tracked across any kind of streaming platform. Anywhere that music is publicly used is going to be able to be tracked now. So that's good. All right. Next order of business, you know what it is. We're going to come right over here to Disco. This is the platform that's going to help us serve up those master song folders with all that metadata and information from the system that we have. I want to show y'all something. Now, I just went into AI mode for Google, and I just asked a generic question. All right, give me detailed info on the Disco platform as I'm thinking about joining and creating a playlist from my music catalog. This is what it spit back out to me, right? Disco or Disco AC, right? This is the entertainment industry standard for music cloud storage, catalog management, and playlist pitching. So that's right up my alley with the playlist pitching, right? Built specifically for sync licensing professionals, managers, supervisors, and independent artists. Right in that line, right? Sync licensing, independent artists, right? It removes the friction of file sharing by combining high fidelity hosting with deep metadata management. We got the metadata covered because we already have that system. Now, it also says the platform operates heavily on a professional network effect, right? Sending a Disco playlist link immediately signals to music supervisors and industry executives that your assets are properly formatted and ready for broadcast use. And then give some additional information about how to manage your catalog and things of that nature. So, I think this is where I want to be. Went ahead and got a BMI IPI, right? Registered with a performance art organization. Got my own international ID for myself and my music at no cost. Now, I'm thinking about using a system that's going to be able to present that master song folder the proper way. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm just going to click in and we're going to start to fill this information out. That's pretty much it. All right, guys. So right now, what I'm really doing is I'm in an incognito window and I'm just creating a dummy account. I do have a real account that's created and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. But this is how we're going to get our first 30-day trial period and figure out if this is going to be beneficial for us. There it is. We in. Okay, so now, mind you, this account with Disco, this is a 30-day trial period. You get a free 30-day trial period. Now, depending on where you are, right, with your music, and if you actually think it's worth it, right, you want to stand behind it, this could definitely be something that could be beneficial for you. It's the first time that anything that costs comes into play. So let's just go ahead and get over to it so I can show you how that interactive workbook and that submission tool works over here with Disco. Now you saw how it worked with Pond 5, right? Attaching the metadata via the CSV file makes it a whole lot easier. Everything comes up. Watch what we can do over here with that same tool at Disco. You already know what I'm going to say. Let's get it. We got into Disco. So we're making progress today. We're definitely making progress today. Now, let's go ahead and check this out. Over here at Disco, what we want to do is create a playlist. That's what I want to do. I want to create a playlist so I can have that shareable link. All right, so this is another stop on that journey. This is the place that they said is the industry standard. So if I create a playlist and start to share that link with any other locations, this is when these supervisors and curators are going to know that, all right, I'm leveled up. I'm leveled, especially how this is going to look. So, no information over here. I'm going to go over here to the side. I'm going to pull this out. So now what I started to do was create a playlist, right? I just wanted to see how this was going to work. Up here at the top, you could click in and you can name it anything you want. So let me pull this back and show you how that tool, the submission tool, that interactive workbook, Let me show you how it works with this. So I'm going to go back over here into the catalog, and I'm going to pull up something from this catalog that we created. Let me see, dang.drop. Let's go ahead and get this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get the tagged version of this, right? Go into the full mix. I'm going to grab the tagged version and slide it in here. Now, what that tag version is going to do, it's going to populate some information for me, hopefully. So let's see what's happening here. I'm going to pull this back. So the tag version is in there from the master song folder. Then I'm going to go into these three dots here and click into edit information. Damn, look at that. That information is populating. They even have the comments down in the comments section for me already. That ain't bad. No lyrics, okay. Writers and publisher. One thing that you might have to populate. I'm doing all the heavy lifting, right? That interactive workbook, that submission tool is doing all the heavy lifting for you. You got to type in your name, ain't so bad. The tags, all the tags are there. If you want to add additional tags, you can go right up there and start adding additional tags for instruments and all this other stuff. But that information populated for you. This is the main thing, the notes. So this is what I'm going to do. Watch this. I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to go into the full mix, and I'm going to get that metadata sheet, that full metadata sheet. We're going to copy this information, and I'm going to go right down here for my internal notes, right? This is the internal notes. This is the information that you would see as the curator of your own library, right? Or artist. This is information you would see. But there's also a tab for external notes. I'm going to put that same information right there. Same information in the external notes. So, now, when you have that playlist sent out and a curator opens that link to your playlist, okay, they click in, this is what they're going to start to see. Look at that. That ain't bad, bro. That ain't bad. You're in good shape. All of this information up top is there, but then all of this is super extra. They looking at this like, okay, these people are on point. And that's exactly what I'm going for, right? You always want to remember that you only really get one chance for a first impression. Let's make it a good one. All right, look. So there's one more thing I want to show you guys. I don't want to hold you. One more thing. I took this shareable link, and this is what your playlist would look like if you share it with a curator or music supervisor from another location. This is what that playlist would look like. All of the music is here. Everything's on point. No problem with all that. But the main thing about that is this, the information. When they open it up and they look at this info like this, bro, they like, yo, Cat is on point. He is on point. Yeah. So you can see right now that interactive workbook, the submission tool that I got that helps create those master song folders, it works at multiple locations in various ways. This is definitely an asset. Listen, man, if you are a music producer and you're going to start presenting your music, the information there is pro level. You see what it looks like. All you need is for the product to stand up. That's pretty much it. When they take a look at that, if your product is half as good as that, I mean, like, you don't have your foot in the door, you're going to step on in. They'll be like, come on in. That's what I'm looking for. Hey, look, I took enough of your time today. We continue the grind. We all going to continue the grind. As always, thanks for listening, and I'm going to catch you on the next one, bruh.